Hello, and we are on lesson 3, Arithmetic and Boolean Operators. So this is part of Unit 2, Algorithms and Programming. So we're going to start with, what is an operator? An operator represents an action. So if I wanted to assign a variable x to 21, I would use the assignment operator. X equals 21. Below there is some logical operators. So for your first task, you need to use the logical operators. You should create examples of at least 4 of these operators. You can do this in either pseudocode or a high-level language you have studied. So choose like different types. So you could do does not equal, you could do one of those, you could do equivalence, or you could do a less than, greater than, or you could do equivalent or assignment, because that could also be equivalence depending on what you're assigning it to. These are the examples I have chosen to do. So if I get the pen, for if x equals 5, that means I've decided to say if x is equivalent to 5, then the code underneath 5 would run. And then if I had x not equivalent to 5, if x is not 5, then the code underneath that would run. If x is less than or equivalent to 4, the code underneath this would run. So if I had, say, I am 4 years old now, or whatever, they would go and say the code would output whatever is underneath that code. Boolean operators. Boolean operators are used to extend the logical operators, such as if A equals 20 and B equals 20, then the condition equals true. So whatever's underneath this code will run. The most common is and or. So the Boolean operation and, the operator is also and or, not, and not is the operation. You can also write it in lowercase as well. Depends what language you are using. For the second task, you're going to do the same as what you did for task 1. Create some examples to these Boolean operators. They can be used more than once. Example, if A equals 0, or B equals 1, or C equals 2. These are some example answers. If A equals B and B equals C, then if A equals 2 or B equals 2, then the code would run. If A not B, then, and then what under that would run. If your examples don't match what I've done, it doesn't matter because they're just examples of what you could do. Mathematical operators. Mathematical operators are used to do math calculations in your program. We've got addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, interdivision, which is div, and remainder, which is mod. These are the 2 different ones, and they'll be explained in the next slide. But this task requires you to use all the mathematical operators and write some examples to them. After you have found your examples, explain what is different between mod and div. You may also choose to look it up on Google. This is an example answer for the difference between mod and div. The difference between mod and div is that mod gives the remainder of a calculation and div gives you the whole number of the sum. Is there any questions?